Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2012 Pro Bono Institute Annual Dinner. Please welcome our MC for the evening, David Williams, CEO of Deloitte Financial Advisory Services and member of the Pro Bono Institute Board of Directors.
Good evening, everyone. So we've started like we always start at big parties in New York. We have the networking and the mingling going on, that's fine. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this fabulous venue, Gotham Hall, and to the Pro Bono Institute Annual Dinner. Tonight, we will pay tribute to the great work done by you, the organizations in this room, in service to the communities in which you live and work. We gather here this evening just over 2 weeks after Superstorm Sandy. As someone who lives and works in this community, it's unfortunate to see that so many people have been impacted by the storm. It's left many homeless, hungry, and suffering. I must admit that I spent a little bit of time when Esther asked me to do this, looking forward to it, but when Sandy happened, I really thought whether it was appropriate for us to be here celebrating anything, given what went on in the city over the past 2 to 3 weeks. I, for one, believe that this is precisely the right time for us to be here, to gather, and to reaffirm our mutual commitment to the work we do, this work we love, pro bono. Disasters like Sandy underscore the vital importance of using our unique skills to help alleviate the suffering of others. I've got some personal experience there that I'd like to share with you. I've experienced the capacity of natural disasters to kindle, this spirit of giving. 8 years ago, some of you will remember, a tsunami of record-breaking proportions struck Southern Asia. It killed more than 230,000 people. That number is just absolutely breathtaking to me. It rendered millions homeless and overwhelmed the capacity of local governments and the NGOs in the area to provide infrastructure. For me, that event was a turning point in my life, quite frankly, and also one of my proudest moments with regard to my organization that I love so much, Deloitte. With the support of Deloitte and many of my colleagues, we contributed countless hours to helping the relief effort and making sure that that relief effort was as efficient and responsive as it could possibly be. Our job was to assist the NGOs and the governments in making sure that the vital resource called money got to where it needed to get to in order to serve the people that needed to be served. As you can imagine, when an event like that happens, lots of money flows in, and it sort of is very hard for most organizations to figure out exactly what to do with it. People are scrambling. When these terrible events occur, the first responders, what they do is they focus on the basics: safety, locating the missing, food, shelter. We found, however, that skills like ours, and skills like the ones, quite frankly, that are present in this room, project management, insurance, regulatory matters, accounting practices, and change management, helped get the money to where it needed to get to, and in my view, literally saved lives, and our governments and NGOs that we worked for at the time absolutely told us that. So I'm particularly grateful to Esther and to the Pro Bono Institute for bringing us together tonight, and for reminding us that whether we're faced with major disasters or not, there are so many people here in the United States and throughout the world that need our help every day to ensure safety, a decent home for themselves and their children, educational opportunity, adequate nutrition, good health, and more. So I do think it's the right thing for us to be here tonight. At least my hope for tonight, and I hope many of you will find tonight an occasion for inspiration and celebration. It's the fuel, however, for what I hope we will all do first thing tomorrow: take action. Whether it's providing assistance to the victims of Sandy, or like my esteemed co-chairs and tonight's award winners, ensuring, for example, that poor children get the nutrition they need to learn and thrive, offering our military veterans who keep us safe the support and honor they so richly deserve, protecting victims of human trafficking from enslavement and degradation, let us resolve here tonight that tomorrow and in the days and months to come, we in our institutions will have both the will and make the time to do this thing we do pro bono. To kick off tonight's celebration of pro bono, let me welcome Charlie Platt, partner in charge of the New York office of Wilmer Hale, one of the world's preeminent law firms and a longtime leader in pro bono service. Charlie, welcome.
Thank you, David. Good evening. It is with great pleasure and pride that I come before you this evening to celebrate the pro bono achievements of our colleagues in the legal profession and to present the John H. Pickering Award given annually by my firm and Pro Bono Institute to a law firm that has demonstrated outstanding commitment to pro bono service. We at Wilmer Hale are very proud to present this award and equally proud of our long history of pro bono leadership and our participation in the work of the Pro Bono Institute. John Pickering, a true leader of our profession, fervently believed that being a great law firm meant doing great pro bono work. John was present at the creation of the Pro Bono Institute and was one of the key drafters of the Institute's Law Firm Pro Bono Challenge, which has become the gold standard for major law firms. John understood the need for a catalyst that would energize, transform, and sustain pro bono within large law firms. Despite its small size and modest budget, that is precisely what the Pro Bono Institute has accomplished, and much more. Most notably, Pro Bono Institute, through Corporate Pro Bono, which is its partnership with the Association of Corporate Counsel, has literally revolutionized pro bono practice in in-house legal departments. Once a rarity and an anomaly, in-house pro bono is now a vital, broad-based movement. No one who has met or worked with John Pickering will ever forget him. His passion for fairness and for justice was contagious. At my firm, his legacy remains vibrant. The same spirit is evident at Latham and Watkins, one of our nation's and the world's great law firms. In 2011, Latham attorneys undertook an amazing 173,000 hours of pro bono work. That's right, 173,000 hours, with a focus on individuals and families of limited means. Latham's pro bono reflects the depth and diversity of its legal staff and Latham's expertise. Some of their pro bono work focuses on the legal needs of our neighbors. For example, 800 children have been adopted through the efforts of Latham's Los Angeles office alone. The firm's business and corporate lawyers have served as trusted counsel and advisors to a wide range of nonprofit groups that serve the needy and the disenfranchised. Reflecting its global presence throughout the world, Latham and Watkins has been involved in pro bono projects around the world. These range from a focus on immigration issues and processes to efforts to stem the tide of human trafficking, which is present-day slavery. Most recently, Latham and Watkins, in cooperation with the Pro Bono Institute, has updated its seminal study of the pro bono landscape in more than 70 countries around the world, a study that provides all of us with the knowledge and tools to thoughtfully and effectively expand our pro bono service in an increasingly international legal arena. In recognition of these and so many other pro bono accomplishments, it's my great honor to present the 2012 John H. Pickering Award to Latham and Watkins. Accepting the award is Latham's chair and managing partner and avid supporter of pro bono, Bob Dell.
Thank you, Charlie. I had about a 5-minute acceptance speech typed out that's sitting on my hotel room desk. So the good news for all of you is I can probably only remember about 2 minutes of it. But let me just start by saying that our firm could not be prouder to accept an award associated with the name John Pickering. Even as a young lawyer, I remember, I never had the opportunity to meet John, unfortunately, but as a young lawyer, I began reading about his accomplishments. And for those of you who know anything about his career, it's stunning. It is, he was a legal titan, a great legal mind, but he also looked at the profession holistically and asked what else he could do to promote social justice, to promote civil rights, and he did an immense amount. And so just to be associated with this name is a great honor. I also thank Wilmer Hale for sponsoring this, a truly great firm that has continued the tradition started by John. They've been a leader in pro bono really from the beginning. And as I understand it, Charlie can correct me, I think this is the 50th anniversary of Wilmer, Cutler, and Pickering, the predecessor firm that John Pickering started. So congratulations on that anniversary. Let me also thank the Pro Bono Institute, not just for the award, but for the tremendous help and assistance it's provided us over the years. About 15 years ago, we had, I would say, a modest or at least maybe even lackluster pro bono program. And a number of us decided we really wanted to elevate it to a new level. And we invoked the assistance of the Pro Bono Institute, Esther Lardent and the group. And they were immensely helpful in helping us shape a really first-class program. And we've counseled with them over the years to make sure that we were staying at the cutting edge in our pro bono program. So it's really a great debt we owe to the Pro Bono Institute for all the help they've provided. One thing I need to also thank, of course, is the many colleagues at Latham and Watkins who have helped make it such a robust program. Fortunately, we have tonight at our table the current chair of our program, Abid Qureshi, and several former chairs, Peter Gilhooly, and some not seen, but anyway, a number of our chairs who are here to help celebrate. So I'm really glad to be here with them. And finally, I want to say, just in terms of the development of pro bono, one thing that's been very gratifying for me is to see how we've been able to move our pro bono program into many, many countries outside the U.S., in about 20 offices outside the U.S. Many of those countries simply did not have a pro bono tradition in their legal profession, didn't know what we were talking about when we proposed that they embrace pro bono. And so it was really a ground-up effort that our pro bono committee took on with a great deal of energy. And now I'm just proud to say that we have many, many lawyers outside the U.S. who have embraced pro bono in a way that is really not consistent with the rest of the profession in many ways in some of those countries. So it's been wonderful. I really do appreciate this award, and it's one that we will treasure. Again, thanking the Pro Bono Institute, Wilmer Hale, and of course the John Pickering family. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage David Williams.
Bob Dell, congratulations to you and congratulations to the folks of your firm, Latham and Watkins, for their commitment to pro bono, their innovative programming, and their championing of the highest ideals of the legal profession and our society. I'm going to spend a few moments before we eat talking about transformation. And I never had the privilege of meeting John Pickering, but my understanding from all who have let me know a little bit about him is that he was transformational. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about another organization that in my mind is transformational, and that's the Pro Bono Institute. One of the reasons that I agreed to serve on the PBI Board of Directors was because of the courage that I saw when we, Deloitte, volunteered to help that organization take on the relatively daunting issue of measuring and assessing the impact and value of pro bono service. In my mind, perhaps the most critical next step in the maturation of pro bono. What I found was a pretty interesting organization, and to use a boxing term, and this is a venue where occasionally there is a boxing match, this is an organization that punches way above its weight. With a staff of about 13 people and a budget that would literally not be a footnote on the financial statements of most of our organizations, I know that because I get to see the budget as a member of the board, this tiny institution seems to be everywhere, challenging and helping all of us do better, pioneering new approaches to pro bono, identifying emerging legal needs, bringing us together to share our knowledge and our experience, brokering broader partnerships and alliances and collaborations, and providing factual information, thought-based, evidence-based research that we can rely upon in improving our programs. At one time, many law firms, corporations, and professional services firms like mine saw pro bono as eating into those all-important chargeable hours and interfering with the work that we were there to do, the corporate work that was so demanding and needed to have all of our attention. If you were, as a lawyer or as a professional, desirous to give back, you did so on your own and on your own time. Pro bono was an individual choice, certainly not institutionalized and certainly not integrated into the core activities and values of our institution. That's changed in many large respects because of PBI. We now recognize that pro bono can be a driver of business, that this work energizes our people, often in ways that their day-to-day work can't or doesn't, that it attracts the kind of creative, savvy, skilled, caring professionals who are the key to sustaining our institutions and their cultures, and that it changes and enhances, most importantly, how we're perceived by our clients and by the public as a whole. Pro bono can and has profoundly changed us for the better, just as it changes our pro bono clients' lives, our justice system, our society, and our world for the better. One of the reasons that I really like this venue and participating in this dinner every year is that the sentiment that I just spoke about is, in fact, etched on the wall in this building. I would ask you to take a look around and see if you can find it. It says, "Waste neither time nor money, but use both for your own and your neighbor's good." And on that happy note, let's have dinner. I'll be back with you in about 40 minutes to continue the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage David Williams.
Very polite applause. Thank you very much. Welcome back, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed dinner as much as I did. This final portion of our program focuses on the emerging role of in-house legal departments on pro bono service. While most of them are newer to this cause than their colleagues in major law firms, the momentum and growth of in-house pro bono during the past 12 years has been absolutely extraordinary, due in no small part to the work of PBI and the Association of Corporate Counsel in establishing the flagship partnership that we know as corporate pro bono. Corporate America at the very highest levels has embraced the power and value of pro bono service. I'm going to talk a little bit about one area that we, Deloitte, work in and that many of you in the room work as well, and that is with our veterans. In particular, in Deloitte, we do a fair amount of work with wounded veterans. Deloitte is just one of many of the organizations that does this. But among our other efforts, we provided a Deloitte Fellowship. What that means in layman's terms is 6 months of full pay and benefits. So one of our professionals could work full-time in the Paralympics program for the last Winter Olympics. This person that actually won this fellowship was a wounded veteran himself and therefore had firsthand understanding of the many issues that wounded vets experience. He also had business skills, and with our support, he was able to put those experiences to work, helping the Paralympics expand its veterans programming and find more ways to work with rehabilitation hospitals across the country. My dinner co-chairs, John Oviatt and John Schultz, and their legal departments also do amazing work with veterans. It's a high honor for all of us. It's a labor of love for us to play any sort of role, even the small role that we play, in the lives of these remarkable heroes. And like you, I look forward to hearing from Amy Sherrod tonight, who's here to speak to us. To bring you Amy and her story, I'm honored to introduce Amy Shue, Deputy General Counsel at Hewlett-Packard and another great pro bono champion.
I knew I was going to have to do this. Thanks, David. Good evening, everybody. I'm here on behalf of John Schultz. He sends his regrets, but it's board week at HP, so he couldn't be here. So I literally have huge shoes to fill. I don't have huge feet. I have small feet. But he's 6'5", and I'm, as you can see, not. On behalf of John, I'd like to thank David and John Oviatt for co-chairing this event with him. I'd like to congratulate Ford Motor Company and Latham and Watkins, a firm that John Schultz started his career at, and the many benefit committee sponsors and other sponsors who really make this event and the work and the leadership of PBI and corporate pro bono possible. I have to tell you, I'm really thrilled to be here. Nearly 6 years ago, I was introduced to the world of PBI. PBI isn't just about awards and galas. Esther and her team bring together people who are really passionate about pro bono. They make them think strategically about how we can provide greater impact in the world of pro bono and across the globe. And then they act. This is really good stuff. Thanks, Esther. In early 2007, HP signed up for the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge. At that time, Mike Holston, our general counsel, asked Bruce Eyes and I to create a pro bono program. We relied heavily on the work and advice of PBI, and we reached out to Morgan, Lewis & Bacchius, a firm with whom we have really close ties with. They introduced us to the world of Amanda Smith, a godsend, and their corporate pro bono counsel. Together, we worked to create a pro bono program that endures today. Among other things, we work with homeless, women threatened by abuse, and veterans. We collaborate with public interest groups, law firms, and in a cutting-edge project, we will partner with other Silicon Valley legal departments. Our first year started out slow. We logged 18 volunteers and 200 hours, but I'm proud to let you know that we just finished our 5th year of the program, and we had 470 volunteers logging nearly 7,000 hours in 37 countries. HP has a legacy of having a strong commitment of giving back to the communities in which we live. Our legal department brings unique skills to HP's global citizen efforts. We tie them to the most fundamental obligation of our legal profession, the obligation to serve. But for HP, our commitment to pro bono extends well beyond that. We believe it's simply the right thing to do. We also view this work as an awesome opportunity to develop our people, lawyers, and other professionals. And we collaborate across practice groups in unique ways. Most importantly, this is how we try to change the lives of others. Tonight, I'm honored to introduce someone whom I believe exemplifies the reason we do pro bono work, Amy Sherrod. Heeding the wise counsel of corporate pro bono, HP selected a signature project, assisting military veterans with benefits. Amy risked her life for all of us. Deployed with the Air Force, she served in both Iraq and Pakistan, where she witnessed the horrors of war firsthand. After being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, Amy was separated from the military and denied the military retirement benefits to which she was entitled. Once again, demonstrating great courage, Amy fought that denial, serving as one of the named plaintiffs in a class action pro bono lawsuit that challenged the government's illegal denial of benefits to those veterans. The case favorably settled, and more than 1,000 veterans with PTSD, including Amy, get those benefits. HP, along with our partners Morgan Lewis and National Veterans Legal Services Program, we need to change the name, as well as other firms and departments around the country, are helping these heroes get the help and the need they deserve. Those of us who have worked with Amy and other vets truly understand why pro bono is our highest calling. Amy's courage and perseverance, coupled with dedicated and skilled pro bono counsel, have ensured that we're embracing the sacrifice of disabled warriors like Amy, who gave so much to protect our country and all of us. It is my privilege to introduce to you a mother of 3 and a real American hero, Amy Sherrod.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction. I'm honored to be here today to represent the thousands of veterans and their families impacted by pro bono efforts undertaken by law firms each year, and to be asked to share my story. I joined the Air Force on May 16, 2001, and I honorably served until February 2005. It was my intention to have a 20-year career in the military, just as my parents had. I loved being in the Air Force. My job was to inspect the aircraft, ensuring that they could fly safely. My work was recognized by my superiors. I received the Air Force Achievement Medal, a National Defense Service Medal, and an Air Force Outstanding Unit Award with Valor. Like many of our servicemen and women, I was exposed to combat. I was in dangerous situations several times during missions to support Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. I went on missions to Pakistan, Jordan, and Iraq, and I was under frequent, life-threatening mortar attacks. My workplace was blown up in an enemy mortar attack. I helped clean helicopters that had carried war casualties and saw the horrors of war firsthand. I began to struggle with anxiety during my deployments. I had flashbacks and struggled to adjust to stateside duty after my deployments. In 2004, after military physicians diagnosed me, a medical board determined that my post-traumatic stress was so severe that I could no longer continue to serve in the military. The board assigned me a 10% disability rating for PTSD, and I was medically separated from the Air Force in 2005. Military disability ratings are critical because they control the benefits that service members receive when they are medically discharged. Because my rating was only 10%, I received a one-time lump sum payout, but no ongoing health care benefits and none of the other benefits of military disability retirement. I was devastated. My plan for a military career was in ruins. I tried to pick up the pieces. I got married, had 3 kids, but I was still struggling. I figured that because I was only rated at 10% disabled, that I did not need long-term medical care or treatment for my PTSD. Eventually, I did go into treatment, and it helped, but even today, it is hard for me to be around crowds. Or to be in stressful situations. Meanwhile, not having military health care coverage hurt my family and jeopardized our financial well-being. We had health insurance through my husband's employer, but it was really expensive, and it had a really high deductible. We had to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket when our daughter was born. Because it was so expensive, we chose to delay and needed surgery for our son, the oldest one, because we could not afford it, forcing him to suffer through several throat infections. Then in 2008, out of the blue, I received a letter from the National Veterans Legal Services Program, known as NVLSP, saying that they believed that I and thousands of other veterans had been lowballed in our disability ratings when we were discharged from the military. They said that under federal law, we were entitled to 50% military disability, which would have entitled the veteran to full military disability retirements. NVLSP said that they wanted to file a lawsuit about it. I was surprised because I thought once I signed the military discharge papers that was it. I could never contest the rating. But I decided to fill out NVLSP's paperwork. I did not know at that time that I was about to become one of 7 plaintiffs in a historic class action lawsuit that would ultimately win back the military disability retirement benefits that had been wrongfully denied to thousands of veterans with PTSD like me who had served in Iraq or Afghanistan and were discharged between 2002 and 2008. The lawsuit was called Sabo versus United States, and it was filed in December 2008 in the U.S. Court of Federal Claims. We were represented by NVLSP and attorneys from Morgan Lewis who donated their time and efforts to help us. It was a long and hard fight. I don't know how many times our attorneys went back and forth to the court, but I do know that they did their best for us. And other attorneys joined forces too, including Hewlett-Packard Company attorneys who volunteered their time and expertise to counsel hundreds of veterans as we went through the litigation process. Finally, in July 2011, our attorneys reached a favorable settlement with the military. It was approved by the judge in December 2011. Under the settlement, 1,100 veterans and I were entitled to lifetime military disability benefits, retroactive to the date of discharge. My family now has TRICARE insurance. My family now has TRICARE health insurance, for which I am deeply grateful. My husband and I will be covered for life, and our children at least until age 18. Our third and youngest child, Jonah, has been very sick and at the doctor's, and they don't know what's wrong with him. He will undergo a week of observation in the hospital after Thanksgiving. I'm dreading it, but I'm relieved to know that the TRICARE health insurance will cover the cost. If we had not won that lawsuit, I don't know how we would pay for him to have this testing. Under the settlement, we are recovering some of our money that our family spent on health care over the last 7 years. We are also eligible to apply for combat-related special compensation pay, a special tax-free benefit. Under the settlement, we also won military post and commissary exchange privileges. Because of that, we got the one thing that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of it. I will show you. It is my retired military ID card. I got my title back. I'm retired Air Force Senior Airman Amy Sherritt. It may not seem like a lot, but what this little blue card gave me, and 1,100 others like me, is our dignity back. I can hold my head up high and say that I served my country in wartime with honor. I want to thank all of our attorneys at the National Veterans Legal Services Program, from Morgan Lewis and from Hewlett-Packard Company. You helped us, even though you didn't know us personally. You worked thousands of hours on our case and didn't charge us a penny. And you did so much to right this wrong and to fight for what was right. You won our benefits and gave us back something that had been taken away from us when we left the military. You gave us back our dignity and pride. Thank you so much for helping us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Jonathan Obiant, Chief Legal Officer and Secretary of Mayo Clinic.
Well, that is a tough act to follow. I was so moved. I just ask you to give it up again for Amy Sherrod and the veterans of this country. Good evening. I'm identified in your program as a co-chair of tonight's dinner, and it's certainly a privilege to fill that role. But more importantly, I'm here to share with you my personal commitment to and participation in pro bono service over more than 30 years, and to honor the remarkable transformation of in-house pro bono that's occurred over the past decade. This transformation is largely due to the leadership and foresight of the Pro Bono Institute and the Association of Corporate Counsel in launching their joint endeavor, Corporate Pro Bono. As Chief Legal Officer of the Mayo Clinic, I enrolled my department as a charter signatory to the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge in 2006. That step, which was supported by a unanimous vote of all of our 35 attorneys, was a catalyst to crystallize and grow the long-standing participation in pro bono of many of our staff. While the challenge calls for at least 50% participation in pro bono work, I'm very grateful to report to you that in 2012, our department achieved 100% participation. Every member of our legal team, the attorneys, paralegals, and administrative assistants, all participated in pro bono this past year. The way we did it, like all the other corporate departments that have been reporting and reported in the program that we had earlier this afternoon, is really just following the precepts of corporate pro bono. Strong leadership from the top, committed pro bono leaders, an array of opportunities with flexible time commitments. We focus on opportunities of under 5 hours to make sure that everybody can participate, and effective partnerships with outside law firms and legal services organizations. In our pro bono work, we counsel veterans, assist immigrants seeking to become citizens, provide advice on landlord-tenant matters, staff a clinic for small business and micro-entrepreneurs, participate in the Wills for Heroes program, and others. While I'm very grateful for my own department's commitment to pro bono, I know that we are not alone. During my recently completed term as the chair of the 31,000-member Association of Corporate Counsel, I've had a wonderful opportunity to look at the big picture of in-house counsel, and I've seen the incredible momentum of pro bono in our community. The numbers are truly staggering. More than 115 legal departments have become signatories to the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge, and there's more. From a mere handful of formal in-house programs in 2000, we have grown to literally hundreds of pro bono in-house programs at departments in a wide range of industries, locations, and sizes. Corporate pro bono, with its staff of only 3, has worked with a majority of the Fortune 100 and many of the Fortune 500, and we're continuing to grow. Working together in an extraordinary partnership, the Pro Bono Institute and the Association of Corporate Counsel are not just creating a robust pro bono culture, we are systematically and creatively addressing the obstacles to in-house pro bono service. Our successes are frequent, and they really have impact. At the urging of CPBO and ACC's Advocacy Committee and staff, almost 350 general counsel of companies signed a letter several months ago asking the Conference of Chief Justices to amend rules to enable our departments and legal staff to provide legal assistance to the poor and the disadvantaged. In September, the Conference of Chief Justices adopted a resolution urging its members to help eliminate unnecessary rules and restrictions that limit the ability of in-house lawyers to undertake pro bono work at this time in our history when it is so greatly needed. Now that is truly the power of pro bono. ACC and PBI have a great partnership. To encourage and recognize other great partnerships in pro bono, ACC and PBI, through Corporate Pro Bono, annually present an award to a pro bono partnership involving a legal department as well as an outside law firm or a public interest organization. Here to present the 2012 Partner Award is my mentor and friend, Laura Stein. Laura's accomplishments are almost infinite, but I note that she's a former member of the ACC, chair of ACC, and that Laura and Brad Smith are the current co-chairs of the Corporate Pro Bono Advisory Board. Laura is a leading pro bono practitioner in her own right, and it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Laura Stein.
Thank you so much to my mentor and friend, John Oviatt. John, thank you so much. Hey, everybody. It's really nice to be here. As John mentioned, I'm Laura Stein, and I'm General Counsel at Clorox, and really proud as well to be the Advisory Board Co-Chair of Corporate Pro Bono, which is the partnership of PBI and ACC that John was just talking about. So it's just wonderful to have us all here on this very special evening, and as we join together with the Pro Bono Institute to celebrate the accomplishments of so many of legal departments, law firms, and public interest organizations who do so much to make a difference in the lives of those in need. We all are very well aware that there is a growing justice gap in America. And the good news is that there are people who are working very hard to meet this justice gap, to keep it from growing even wider. And in the last 10 to 15 years, you would have thought that in-house legal departments weren't doing much because there were few of us who had formal pro bono programs. But now, as John was describing, it's great that in-house legal departments are also playing a vital role in the fight against this justice gap. So often we do it in partnership with law firms and public interest organizations. So our joint commitment to pro bono not only increases the number of attorneys who can do pro bono work overall, but it also provides additional means of support to those in need. And often, in-house lawyers are able to connect our legal pro bono to the larger efforts of our company's broader corporate social responsibility programs. So tonight's honorees are just a great example of how legal departments can play a role in bridging the justice gap while doing corporate responsibility for their companies. So there's strength in numbers, and the Pro Bono Institute has encouraged partnership and collaboration among so many of us to find innovative ways to encourage and transform legal services provided to communities in need. When organizations join together, they can have an exponentially greater effect than they would on their own in changing the lives of those in need, and can really accomplish special feats in the world of pro bono legal services. So without further ado, it's my distinct honor to present the 2012 CPBO Pro Bono Partner Award. This award recognizes projects and programs that demonstrate effective cooperation between legal departments, law firms, and public interest organizations. To receive this award, projects must provide a significant benefit to the local community, demonstrate a high degree of participation by in-house lawyers, and use an innovative approach to their delivery of pro bono legal services. The 2012 CPBO Partner Award recipients, by embodying the spirit of cooperation and collaboration through everything they do, are a great example of how partnerships can be used to address the justice gap. So on behalf of Corporate Pro Bono, I'm really proud to announce the winner of 2012 CPBO Pro Bono Partner Award. The Office of the General Counsel of Ford Motor Company, in partnership with Dykema, Gossett, PLLC, the Legal Aid and Defender Association, Inc., also known as LAD, and the Michigan Community Resources, also known as MCR. And they're being recognized tonight for their innovative community-centered partnerships in support of healthy families and nonprofit organizations. So in 2009, Ford, which has had a long tradition of pro bono, rejuvenated its pro bono program and decided to focus its effort to better serve the needs of their local community, where 1/3 of their population lives in poverty. And they also wanted to align what they were doing with the company's corporate social responsibility initiatives. So what Ford did was, first, it collaborated with LAD, and it created a food stamp screening clinic, and it helped eligible individuals and families who had previously been unable to take advantage of the system know how to identify and apply for benefits. So this effort has been vitally important in Detroit because it's one of the poorest large cities in the U.S. So to maximize their impact, the attorneys at Ford held the food stamp clinics at local schools to increase participant turnout and have an increased scope of the clinic so they could reach the Spanish-speaking community. So they also had the project be supported by the Ford Fund, which provides additional monetary and food support to participants at the clinic. Then they brought in other organizations to work with them and with LAD. So other organizations that have supported these food stamp clinics included the Ford Hispanic Network, Wayne State Law School, and the Michigan Department of Human Services. So that was their first step. And then the second thing they did is they partnered with Dykema and MCR to organize clinics providing legal health checkups and contract review services to address the needs of Detroit area nonprofits. So over 40% of attorneys from Ford participate in these clinics alone, and many continue to provide legal services for their client long after the clinic is finished. So by supporting the nonprofit infrastructure in their community, the efforts of the Ford attorneys and other attorneys in the partnership have a knock-on effect because it's felt by many more people in need throughout Detroit. So again, Ford keeps bringing other people in to collaborate to make a difference. So the value of the work done by Ford and its partners, as well as their innovative approaches to collaboration, are just a shining example of how pro bono partnerships really can respond to the changing needs of the local community and increase access to justice. So I'm really delighted that David Leach is here, Group Vice President and General Counsel for Ford, to accept this award. Dan from Dykema is coming up as well, right? Come on up, Dan.
This is Dan Stevenson from Dykema, one of our partners in this effort. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, John. And my thanks as well to Corporate Pro Bono, the Association of Corporate Counsel, and the Pro Bono Institute. Through your leadership and guidance in the special partnership that is Corporate Pro Bono, you have made pro bono collaborations like ours possible. You know, at Ford, one of our core values is working together, both inside the company and with our communities. Ford's partners in this effort, working together, are Dykema Gossett, the Legal Aid and Defender Association, and Michigan Community Resources, as Laura mentioned, have helped us to think creatively and act decisively to help our deeply needy community and its people. What we were able to accomplish together greatly exceeds our capacity and reach working alone. For all of us, service to our nation, to our justice system, and to those who desperately need legal counsel is a critical part of our mission and our professional identity. That is why almost 80% of Ford's staff participates in pro bono, and you've set a goal for us tonight to try to get up to that 100%, so thank you. Individual pro bono work is often small in scope, but like so many pro bono efforts, the cumulative benefits are incalculable. Our food stamp clinic provides access to nutrition to poor children, enabling them to be better students and offering the promise of a better future. Applying our business and legal skills to ensure that community-based nonprofits are in compliance and able to focus on their programmatic missions ensures that their services, access to shelter and safety, are there for those who need them, Every individual act of pro bono service has the potential to change a life, and those lives can change our society as a whole. Amy Sherrod's story is another example of how transformative pro bono can be. One brave woman's refusal to accept the denial of benefits she was due has transformed the way in which PTSD is handled by our Veterans Agency and has provided dignity, hope, and a pathway to health for thousands of veterans. And Amy, you did a phenomenal job tonight. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Amy, I have a son who's currently in Kandahar flying Blackhawks, and I know that he would be very proud of you as a fellow service member. Really appreciate you being here with us, and really appreciate the work of Morgan Lewis and Hewlett-Packard and the National Veterans Legal Services Program in making sure that those who are out on the front lines defending us every single day, securing our freedom, securing the right for us to meet in a place like this, and to provide benefits for those who are less fortunate, are taken care of when they return. Pro bono transforms all of us. It offers hope and opportunity to our citizens, and it transforms us as well. We are better lawyers and better citizens as a result. I want to congratulate Latham and Watkins on the award they received tonight, and I want to thank you all for this great honor. I promise we will continue to strive at Ford to earn it year after year, and I know that all my friends in the corporate legal community really appreciate the spirit in which we've come together and advanced this effort. Thank you for being here and for your support, and thank you for this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Jim Jones, Chair of the Pro Bono Institute Board of Directors.
Wow, this has been quite an evening, hasn't it? On behalf of the Board of Directors of PBI, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. This event, as you know, is a major source of our funding and provides a very significant amount of the resources that we need to do what we do for pro bono throughout the year. And we're grateful to all of you, to our co-chairs, to our sponsoring law firms and law departments, to our awardees, and of course to all of you, our attendees, for making this year's annual dinner such a success. And of course, we offer our special thanks to the wonderful PBI staff and event staff for producing yet another memorable evening. Thank you very much. But this evening's event is about more than just raising money for pro bono, as important as that is. It's also about celebrating what is best in our profession, about recommitting ourselves to the vital goals of access to justice for all, and about reaffirming that even in a time of economic crisis, our system of justice must not be compromised. Those are the ideals that we've seen on display here tonight, particularly in the work of our awardees, Latham and Watkins, and Ford Motor Company and its partners, Dykema, Gossett, and Legal Aid and Public Defender Association and Michigan Community Resources. But those are also the ideals that all of you as organizations have embraced and that we celebrate in this event. What we have seen over the last 4 years during the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression has really been truly remarkable. Law firms and law departments across this country have stepped up to the challenge, have taken steps to ensure that vital pro bono services did not suffer, and have reconfirmed their own commitments to ensuring access to justice. And the results have reflected the highest ideals of our profession. So, my friends, I can only say to you tonight, keep up the good work. Your efforts have never been more important for our profession, for our country, and for the cause of justice. Thank you very much.
So now we're going to take about a 15-minute break and transition into the second half of the 3-hour program. No, actually, we're at the end. Tonight's really, though, all kidding aside, been a testament to the contributions and impact that this group of people and that this profession has already made through pro bono, both individually and together. It's also a preview of the power and the responsibility we have to reshape the world going forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your passion about this work, and thank you for PBI. And now, please join us for dessert. We have a very fancy dessert bar back there, and it would be horrible if it went to waste. Thank you all. Give yourself a round of applause, and everybody have a great evening.